to the 800th meeting, Tuesday, November the 16th, 2021. Please note, if you wish to be heard at the meeting, please sign the speaker list provided on the City of Laurel website or contact staff. The chairman reserves the right to limit the amount of time each speaker has for each agenda item. The qualifications of the members of the commission, the staff of the commission, and any consultant used are on file with the city and are hereby made a part of each and every application heard today. The guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made a part of each and every application. Each application heard today is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedence for any other application. Just want to remind everybody, when you speak, identify yourself so that it's recorded for the record. When you're done speaking, please use the mute button on your phone or computer. This will help eliminate background noise. If we experience a technical problem, the meeting will be suspended until the issue is resolved. If it's unable to be resolved in a timely manner, shall be postponed. If the issue is corrected, I will call for another roll call, and then we will resume the meeting. After staff presents the application report, I will ask commissioners to request a motion. Madam Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Are you on there too?
Mr. Cocoon,
Here.
Councilmember Les,
Here.
Ms. McSaney,
Here.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Here.
Ms. Frazier, Mr. Davis,
Here.
Mr. Schweitzer.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
Albert Rick. I spelled it wrong.
All right. Next item is the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting held on October the 12th, 2021. Is there any corrections or comments?
Mr. Chairman, this is Ms. McSaney. I move we approve the minutes as presented.
I second.
Okay, Brooke, we have a motion by Ms. McSaney and a second by Ms. Lubinecki to approve the minutes as presented. Call the roll.
Ms. McSaney,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
I abstain as I was not part of the last meeting.
Thank you. Mr. Schweitzer,
Yes.
and Mr. Cocoon.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Okay, moving on to HDC 033-2022 for 25 Post Office Avenue. Would the staff like to present their report to the commission?
Yes, good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chair and fellow commission members. My name is Joshua Mitchum, and I'll be giving the staff report for 25 Post Office Avenue. The applicant is seeking Historic District Commission approval to perform several exterior alterations to the property. First, for the window replacements, the applicant is proposing to replace all 24 existing windows on the house. The applicant states that the windows that are to be removed are not the house's originals, and 20 windows will be double hung and 4 will be single hung, and all windows will be double paned. Furthermore, all double hung windows are proposed to have 6/6 paneling, and the window trims will be covered by existing white aluminum wraps, which will be replaced with wraps of the same color and material. More information about the measurements of the windows can be found in the included Historic District Commission window questionnaire. For the siding, the applicant is proposing to replace the existing cement block siding in white color with vinyl siding in white color. The new style proposed is Dutch lap style. For the gutters, the applicant is proposing to replace the existing aluminum gutters in white color with gutters of the same style and color, only slightly larger in size. The existing gutters and downspouts are 3-inch standard style, and the applicant is proposing to replace them with a 4-inch K-style gutters and downspouts. Moving on to the fence, the applicant is proposing to replace the existing front yard fence. The existing fence is unpainted wood in solid board picket style. and the applicant is proposing to replace the fence with a wooden fence in Gothic picket style in white color. For the front door of the property, the applicant would like to replace, the existing door is steel material painted in medium green color with a 6-panel style measuring 36 inches by 80 inches. The replacement door is proposed to be comprised of smooth fiberglass material, and it will be painted Georgetown green, which is a dark green color, in the same 6-panel style as the original door of the house. For the porch, the applicant would like to paint the bricks of the front porch. The existing porch has bricks that are unpainted, and they're proposing to paint them a smoky pewter gray color, which is like a medium to dark gray color. And lastly, for the shingles, the applicant is proposing to replace the existing gray 3-tab roof shingles with shingles of similar styling. And the color proposed is charcoal black color. Moving on, the proposed actions requested by the applicant appear to meet the requirements established in the City of Laurel's Unified Land Development Code, as well as the criteria listed in the design guidelines of the HDC. And staff recommends that the HDC approve certificate number 033-2022. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh, for your report. Any comments? Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Is the applicant on the line with us?
I'm looking right now.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Wang.
Yes. Hi, Mr. Cocoon.
Yes, sir. Any comments or questions for the applicant? Seeing that there's no comment.
Mr. Cocoon, let me ask a question of Josh.
Yes.
Josh, are these shingles true cement shingles or do they have asbestos in them?
I would not know. I think that will be a better question for the applicant. Mr. Wang, could you answer that question for?
The
Chairman.
question is about the roof shingle.
No. Most of these shingles that were put on like this, back when these were put on, have asbestos in them.
You're talking,
He's
Mr. You're talking about the roof shingle or siding?
No, I'm talking about the siding shingles.
The siding is is a cement kind of siding originally.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that, but most of that has asbestos in it.
Yes,
Is there asbestos in it?
I believe so. Yes,
Okay, so you're
but
gonna have.
according to the siding contractor, we're not going to take it off. So we're going to cover with a new layer of insulation and then put a new aluminum siding, white color, just like the one is what they did on the 23 post office. They did the same thing.
So you're not removing the old siding? Is that what we understand?
Yes. No, not removing.
Correct. You're leaving, the current siding will remain and you will put new siding over it.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, this is Ms. McSaney. I would like to move that we approve HDC 033-2022 for 25 Post Office Avenue.
Okay. Do I have a second?
This is Patrick Davis. I will second that motion.
Okay, Brooke. I have a motion by Ms. McSaney and a second by Mr. Davis to approve HDC 033-2022 as presented. Would you please call the roll?
Ms. McSaney,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes,
Mr. Schweitzer,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. All right, Mr. Wong, good luck with your project.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Take care.
Mhm.
Okay, moving on to HDC 025-2022 for 616 Prince George Street. Would the staff please present a report to the commission?
Good evening, Mr. Chair and fellow board members. This is Monte Burrows, Planner 2. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to make exterior renovations to the existing house. The applicant is proposing to remove and replace the existing second floor metallic roof with asphalt shingles. In addition, the applicant is also proposing to remove and replace existing roofs on the front and side porch. See the attachment to the staff report. The applicant is proposing to replace the existing roofs on the front and side porch with the same color and shingles that exist. The proposed roof color for the front and side porch is Covington Blue, but the applicant is also willing to accept any recommendations from the HDC for the color. Staff recommends that HDC approve certificate 025-2022. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and the applicant is on the phone for any questions.
Thank you, Monte. Any comments or questions for the applicant?
Mr. Chairman, this is Mike Les. I'm looking at the picture, Monte, that you included with the package. I just want to make sure. So the upper roof you're proposing for regular shingles, asphalt shingles, and the
Yes,
lower two and the lower porch roofs will be metal shingles.
That is correct. So last time, if some of the committees here remembers, we discussed the roof. We added in this presentation some of the samples or pictures of the condition of the roof currently. So there are obviously holes and there are damage to the roof. Yep, there you go. So there's a severe damage to the roof. So we discussed to sort of replace it with the regular shingles on top, and to observe the history, the porches, the two porches that you see on both of the houses, on both sides of the house, are the ones that we're going to replace with original metal. And the only thing that we have that we'd like to address here is contractor currently is saying that the colors that you committee have provided, currently they don't have those very exact colors. They have options that are very similar to that, like they're close, but for example, there's a cityscape or even the one that is a little bit down, I think it's called metallic silver, that matches the colors that you guys have provided, so that we can go ahead and install it right away. But if you feel that we need to match it exactly, then we will have to sort of take that note and take it on a spring, because due to the weather, we're not going to be able to paint that color to the metal this time around, since we can't wait to sort of get this roof done. So during the winter, December, we'll put the roof, metal roof on, but if the paint is so crucial and important to sort of stick to those colors and the PMS colors and so forth, then we will do that in spring. I would like to do that. I would like to pick the colors that the metal colors that we can sort of have here that sort of matches, but I'll leave that to you guys to decide what's the best solution here.
Mr. Chair, I don't have the.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't have the color palette from the city in front of us. I wonder if the city could give us either Brooke or Rob or somebody of the color. This is the colors that your contractor basically has available. How close are some of these? And do you have, number one, Ms. Whalen, do you have a preference in amongst this color? In other words, are you trying to go for the silver? Or do you have a preference? And Brooke or Josh or Rob, are some of these close to our palette, close enough that it's within the realm of the feasible?
So I'll go first. The color palette, I have the color palette with me right now, and I'm looking at it. That is from you guys, and the closest ones that match is the one that you see here says Cityscape and a metallic silver, which is a light gray.
Yeah.
So I can go with those two. Either one is fine with me. I don't have necessary preference, but yeah, but they're not exact.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Chairman.
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Chairman, the metallic silver is going to look like, a true metal roof, as it is metal. I would be, would be willing to go with that. And what color is the upper roof going to be with the asphalt shingles?
I
Madam?
believe that's the typical shingle dark gray.
Yeah, they're going to be dark gray and they'll
May be wrong about that.
That's fine. And they'll be architectural. So there'll be the overlapping with the shadow lines. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Rob.
And my recommendation is stick with what they have because they're going to powder coat it. Going to come from the factory.
Right. Powder coated from the factory. That's
The
correct.
color is going to hold up much better than if you painted it.
Yeah.
Also not going to peel as quickly as if you
Right.
a metal roof. So
Right.
if you get it from the factory, one of these colors would probably be acceptable, but it's gonna last much longer and it's gonna give you a lot longer lasting life out of the paint.
Excellent. I'm happy with the metallic silver. If everyone agrees, I'll just go with that.
Yeah. And do they give you a warranty with how long the paint will last? Some of them give you a 20 or 30-year warranty that the paint won't peel in that time.
I don't recall, maybe my husband has that information, but I don't have that information. But I would certainly go for whatever the longest
Yeah.
give me. So if they have an option that it's 20 years, I will definitely go with that one. So.
Yeah, that's some of the selling points. Sometimes they say that this paint will last for 20 years on it. So
Is that better, or should I go with the shorter version?
No.
no,
With the longer.
that's
Yeah.
good. If they offer that, that's wonderful.
You
Excellent.
don't want to disrupt the powder coating.
Right.
It'll last
Okay.
a long time if you just let the powder coating go.
Okay. All right. That's fantastic to know. Okay.
Mr. Chair, this is Director Love. There are a number of grays that are very close to this, so I think it would be very close to some of the approved colors.
Okay, so I think either the metallic silver or the cityscape, whatever one she chose, we could probably approve that.
Okay. Metallic silver will be great.
Okay.
This is Miss McSeany. So for the metal roof, are they going to be shingles or is it going to be a standing seam roof like you have now?
Like the way we have now. So
Okay, so it'll be standing
exactly.
seam panels,
Exactly.
correct? All right, okay.
Yes. We're gonna follow the historic kind of look and
Yeah,
they're gonna be exactly the same.
All
Yep.
right.
Okay, great. Then I would like to move that we approve HDC 025-2022 for 616 Prince George Street with the, I can't remember the color name,
Metallic silver.
metallic silver color for the metal standing seam roof.
And if I could, Ms. McSeany, I'll second that. And the upper roof will be a gray architectural tab asphalt shingle, correct?
Yes,
All right,
that is correct.
I'll second that.
Okay, Brooke, we have a motion from Ms. McSeany and a second by Councilman Les to approve HDC 025-2022. Would you please call the roll?
Ms. McSeany,
Yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes,
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
An absolute yes.
Mr. Switzer,
Yes.
and Mr. Cocoon.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Well, good luck, Ms. Whalen, with your project.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, the next agenda item is HDC 026-2022 for 360 Main Street. Would the staff please present their report to the commission?
Good evening again, Mr. Chair and fellow board members. This is Monte Burrows, Planner 2. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to remove and install new signage. The applicant is refacing the existing signage. The front of the building will be a wall sign, which is per the staff report. The size of the sign will be 38 square feet. The lettering on the sign will be white. The materials of the new signage, the applicant will remove the stainless steel letters, clean and reinstall. The message on the signage will be propane, H.J. Poist, established 1938. The second sign, which the applicant want to approve, be also in the front of the building. It'll be that hanging sign. You can see the attachment and renderings in the staff report. The size of the sign will be 64 square feet. The colors will be a red arrow. The lettering will be white. And the background, which the white letters will be on, will be blue and be attached to the blue panel. The materials, the applicant will paint and replace the metal facing to match original color. The message on the sign will have the phone number and the message of propane Poist Gas Company and a red arrow. Staff recommends that the HDC approve 026-2022 with the following condition: the applicant must attain the City of Laurel sign permit. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and the applicant should be on the phone for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Monty. So this is probably a unique situation. This is probably the only sign on a building that is perpendicular to the building. It's been there as long as I can remember. I don't know, Mr. Les, you probably
Yep.
seen it for years as well.
The rest of them are all gone.
Yep. Just wanted to make a comment. Does anybody else have any questions or comments?
Yeah, let me just, so I understand this. The protruding sign will be white neon, correct? With the, in front of the white letters.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and then on the lower sign that'll be on the face of the building, are they also going to be neon?
Yes, it's gonna be
So-
basically the same. It's just that they're gonna
Yeah.
clean it up, and yes, it's gonna be
Yeah.
neon. Yes.
So the propane H.J. Poist established 1938, and that'll be neon also. I applaud the applicant because those are expensive signs to replace, very expensive. And I applaud them for sticking with the historical nature of the signs and the neon. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions for the applicant?
No, I'd like this, Ms. Lubinecki, I'd like to make a motion that we approve HDC 026-2022 for 360 Main Street.
Mr. Schweitzer's a second.
Okay, Brooke, I have a motion by Ms. Lubinecki and a second by Mr. Schweitzer to approve HDC 026-2022 as presented. Would you please call the roll?
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes,
Mr. Schweitzer,
Yes.
Ms. McSinney,
Yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Next agenda item is HDC 028-2022 for 400 Main Street. I think we have to ask Ms. McSinney to recluse herself from the comments of this item
I will.
as a commissioner.
Yes.
Would the staff please present the report?
Yes, good evening again, Mr. Chair and fellow commission members. Again, this is Joshua Mitchum giving the staff report. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to remove 2 cedar trees along 4th Street at the both ends of the row. The existing trees do not seem to be dead or diseased. However, the applicant states that the trees have outgrown the space due to overcrowding. No new trees are proposed to be replacing the trees that are to be removed, with the applicant stating that there is not enough room. The staff would recommend perhaps that the applicant maybe replace the trees with some kind of additional shrubbery of some kind, but that is not a definitive prerequisite of the recommendation of the report. Staff recommends that the HDC approve certificate number 028-2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Any comments?
And Margie, why not trim them rather than remove them?
They have been trimmed numerous times.
Okay,
So it's becoming, like every 2 years, pay hundreds of dollars to prune
Okay.
that whole row.
it's too expensive to keep it going, yeah.
Well, it's not so much, like it's an unnecessary expense, but there are also holly trees on either end that you cannot see because of the juniper trees.
Okay.
So the idea is remove these 2 trees and let other trees, fill in the space.
Okay.
Because it's so crowded in there.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve HDC 028-2022 for 400 Main Street.
This is Patrick Davis. I'll second that motion.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Brooke, I have a motion by Ms. Lubinecki and a second by Mr. Davis that we approve HDC 028-2022. Would you please call the roll?
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Absolutely, yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Mr. Schweitzer,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. All right, Margie, you can come back on.
Thank you. And thank you.
Okay, next agenda item is HDC 029-2022 for 914 Montgomery Street. Would the staff please present the report to the commission?
Good evening, Mr. Chair and fellow board members. This is again Monte Burrow, Planner 2. The applicant is seeking HDC retroactive approval to perform several exterior alterations to the property. The applicant received a stop work order. The applicant is removing and replacing the stone and concrete stairs and walkway because they have become unsafe to step and walk on, and you can see the attachment in the staff report. The front porch stairs and railing replacement. Applicant is proposing to install concrete stairs. The applicant will be constructing 5 stairs, dimension 7 feet in width, 12 inches in diameter, and 7.75 feet in height. The applicant will reinstall existing railings. The walkway replacement. Applicant is proposing to replace existing stone walkway with a concrete walkway. The footprint of the new concrete walkway will be the same as the existing. Staff recommends that HDC approve retroactively certificate 029-2022. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and the applicant is on the phone for any questions.
Thank you, Monte, for your report. Any questions or comments for the applicant?
Is that for me? I'm sorry. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Ask any of the commissioners if they have any questions or comments for you. And I guess while you're available, you understand that you're in the historic commission district, and any exterior work that you do that can be seen from the street has to get approval from the commission before the work is started.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm so sorry about this situation. It's been about 10 years since we've done any outside or work to the house. And the situation for my child and us leaving.
I'm sorry, you're muted.
So, we had mail and delivery people slipping and tripping and people walking their dog. And so it was just a complete oversight, because I know that we have to do stuff in order to change things. I just thought, well, underneath the stone is already concrete. And so in my mind, I was not even thinking like, oh, we're not really changing anything. We're just trying to fix it. But we were taking the stone out because we fixed the stone multiple times, like remortaring it and such. And it just keeps getting broken and teetering, and the pieces are all, the stairs actually were crumbling away. So there weren't even on this photo here, there were actual stairs, but there weren't even stairs any longer on 3/4 of the steps except for the very top step. So we had like about a 7-inch part along the railing that we could walk down that was lifting as we would walk, but it was not crumbled away yet. So it just was a complete oversight. We know the process. We just completely was a screw up with everything that was going on. We were trying to get it done and not thinking. So I'm so sorry.
Okay, well, it does look good, and you've used, rock material, and it looks like it fits in the scope of the historic district.
Our neighbors who've lived here for like 40+ years and their families, they all actually came over and were like, it looks so nice. And I was like, I screwed up, I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, they definitely want it to look better. So yeah, that's all that we really want. And we're just really sorry that we made a oversight in the process.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patrick Davis.
Yes.
I appreciate the applicants pretty much just owning up to the fact that they made a mistake, and I appreciate that. That's very sincere. With that, Mr. Chairman, I will say we make a motion to approve HGC 029-2020 Main Street, correct?
Okay, do I have a second?
It's Montgomery Street, actually.
Montgomery Street. Okay, Montgomery Street. Thank you.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Brooke, we have a motion by Mr. Davis and a second by Councilman Les to approve HGC 29-2022. Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Davis,
Absolutely, yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Ms. McSini,
Yes.
Mr. Schweitzer,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon.
Yes.
Motion
And
carries.
just want to say to the applicant, we appreciate your putting time and money back into the community and fixing up your house.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Big thumbs up.
Moving on to HGC-030-2022 for 509 Montgomery Street. Would the staff please present the report to the commission?
Yes, thank you again, Mr. Chair and fellow commission members. This is again Joshua Mitchum giving the staff report. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to replace an existing 6-foot tall wooden fence. The applicant states that the existing fence is broken and they propose to replace the fence with a new gray colored vinyl fence of the same height. The location of the fence will be on the left side of the property in front of Montgomery Street and will run to the alleyway at the back of the lot. The proposal appears to meet the design criteria as listed, and staff recommends that the HDC approve certificate number 030-2022. And the applicant, Mr. Karim Whalen, is available for questions if necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh, for your report. Is there any,
I do have a quick question for Mr. Manesh. Looking at this fence, is it the same on both sides so that a good side faces the neighbor?
It is the same on both sides. That's correct. Just there's one side that's the left side is far more dilapidated and in just worse shape than the right side.
No, I mean the new fence. I mean the new fence that you're proposing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood the question. Can you repeat it, please?
Okay, is the new fence that you are proposing to put in the same? Is there a good side that faces the neighbor?
Is the exposure the same on both sides, Mr. Manesh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm muted. Yeah, it's identical on both sides.
Right.
I've gone ahead and met with the neighbor and told them the proposal.
Yeah.
And they're concurring with my assessment, and they're actually agreeing to help cover some of the demolition cost if you guys approve it.
Wow.
Okay, this is Miss McSini. I think it's the nicest looking plastic fence I've ever seen. I would like to move that we approve HDC 030-2022 for 509 Montgomery Street.
I'll second that.
Okay, Brooke, I have a motion from Ms. McSini and a second from Ms. Lubinecki that we approve HDC 030-2022. Would you please call the roll?
Sini,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes,
Councilmember Les,
yes,
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Switzer,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, agenda item HDC 031-2022 for 319 Laurel Avenue. Would the staff please present the report to the commission?
Good evening again, Mr. Chair and fellow board members. Again, this is Monte Burrow, Planner 2. The applicant is seeking HDC Commission approval to install 2 types of fences on the property. The applicant will be installing a new fence along the back of the house and the rear of the property. The applicant will be installing a paddock style fence along the back of the house and a French gothic picket fence in the rear of the property. You can see the attachment to the staff report. Both fences will be made of wood material and the height will be 4 feet. Staff recommends HDC approve certificate 031-2022. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and the applicant is on the phone for any questions.
Thank you, Monte, for your report. I only have one question. Are you going to stain or paint the fence?
Sorry, yes.
can't hear the applicant,
Yeah,
Mr. Cocoon.
I can't hear him either.
Mr. Chair, I can probably answer that. When I spoke to the applicant, they were proposing afterwards to change it to a white color, but at this moment, they would stick with a wood color and probably change it during the summer and paint it. But at the moment, they were just gonna stick with the wood finish.
Okay, and just make them understand that they would have to come back before the commission into color. It's probably good to let them cure anyway before they stain it or paint it. So that's fine.
Okay, I'll let them know.
Any
Mr.
other
Chair,
questions? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, I would suggest that we go ahead and approve it to remain as installed so it weathers, but that if they want to paint it next summer, which would be the appropriate time to paint it, that we allow them to paint it the white that was suggested by Josh or Monty, who, okay, that's number one. But number two is more important. This property is deeded the same way mine is deeded. I want everybody to understand. They're not going to run the fence out to the middle of the alley. If you look at the plat that was done by the title company, their deed reads the same as mine, to the middle of the alley, less 10 feet for the alley. Okay, and I just want to make sure that they're going to follow the existing dark line on the location drawing for the back fence. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, Mud, I just want to make sure, because there's several lots like this in Laurel where they own to the middle of the alley, and then it says less 10 feet for the alley. Okay, that allows everybody to use the alley. That's the important part. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman Les. Any other comments or questions?
This is Miss McSini. So where exactly are the two different kinds of fences going?
The French Gothic picket is going to go along the back of the house where you see to the west of the back of the house towards.
Okay, that's what I didn't understand because it said both were going behind the, okay, thank you.
So the fence that's running along the alley will be the paddock style. And then what's visible from Laurel Avenue as you look at the back of the house will be on either side the French Gothic.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Lewis, you are, you're concurrent with Mr. Les's comment about the 10-foot
Yeah,
where the fence actually has to go.
yeah. So we can see where our neighbor's fence line is that 10
Yeah,
from the alleyway, and we're following that existing fence line that goes across a couple of our neighbors' yards.
excellent.
There's that 10-foot gap before the alley.
And no gates.
Oh, sorry. There, I didn't put it in there, but we're planning to have a gate on where the sidewalk is. You can see going along the right side of the house,
Yeah,
the backyard, having a gate there in that part of the fence. And then on the left side at the back of the house, about 2 feet or 3 feet from the corner, a single gate. And then at the back of the property line by the alley, a double wide 8-foot.
Okay, just make that clear. Both on the right and left side of the house in the front, they're going to be 3-foot gates. And in the rear of the property, it's going to be a double gate. It's going to be 8 foot wide.
That's correct.
Mr. Chairman, this is Commissioner Davis. So was the gate included on the original application or?
No.
Oh, did I not mention the gates on the application? I'm sorry.
Could you perhaps verbally describe what you propose the gates to be like? I mean, are the picket ones is it going to be basically the picket fence gate is like, but for the paddock, what kind of a gate are you then proposing?
It's going to be, so it's going to be the paddock style will have the 3 boards across.
right.
And the gate will have the boards at a diagonal meeting in the middle of the gate.
To support it, right.
We could probably make an amendment to the application if
We can do that do that in the motion now, Mr. Chairman.
Correct.
If there's no further questions, I'll make the motion that we approve the fence as depicted on the drawing by the applicant with 2 picket gates in the front, to each side of the house in the front, and an 8-foot section, which will be a paddock fence gate in the back, and allow them to paint the pickets white next summer.
This is Commissioner Davis. I will second that motion.
I'm sorry, was that a second, Mr.
Yes.
Davis? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Second the comment.
Okay. Brooke, I have a motion by Councilman Les and a second by Mr. Davis to approve HDC 031-2022. Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Absolutely, yes.
Ms. McSini,
Yes.
Mr. Schweitzer,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next agenda item is HDC 032-2022 for 325 Montgomery Street. Would the staff please present the report to the commission?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chair and fellow commission members. This is again Joshua Mitchum giving the staff report. The applicant is seeking HDC approval to replace the existing roof. The applicant states that the current roof is leaking and is in need of replacement. The proposed roof will change from its existing 3-tab style to architectural shingle style. Furthermore, the proposed roof will change from its existing light gray color to an Atlas high performance pristine black color. The applicant's proposal prepares to meet the design criteria as outlined in the HDC design guidelines, and staff recommends that the HDC approve certificate number 031-2022. and the applicant is on the line to take any questions if needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh, for your report. Any comment or questions for the applicant?
This is Ms. Lubinecki. I don't have a question per se, but a query. Well, I have no problem with the applicant choice of color, as in it's his choice, but he does realize that a black roof is going to get very, very, very hot for the attic area and everything. And has he given some consideration to that point?
If the applicant, Mr. Albert Rice, would like to speak on that, I think he would be able to weigh in.
This is Mr. Rice. I don't want a black roof to go over my black shutters. And believe it or not, that was a black roof when I put one in 1992. What's up, Rob? This is Rodney.
Okay.
Do you mind restating your comment? I'm sorry, I'm not sound clear with.
A black roof. My shutters, original. I put that roof in 1990.
We're having some audio problems here, I think.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I'm happy with the black roof, please.
I believe what I heard Mr. Wright say previously was that the roof was black when he purchased the house in 1992.
Yeah, I put the roof on.
No, he put the roof on in 1992. When he put the roof on, the shutters were black. They've colored over the years.
This is Miss McSaney. I'd like to move that we approve HDC 031-2022 for 319 Laurel Avenue. I'm sorry, I apologize. 032-2022 for 325 Montgomery Street for a new pristine black roof.
I'll second.
All right, Brooke, we have a motion by Ms. McSaney and a second by Ms. Lubinecki to approve HDC 032-2022. Would you please call the roll?
Ms. McSaney,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Schweitzer,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon,
Yes.
motion carries.
Good luck with your roof, gentlemen.
Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome. Take care. Okay, next agenda is for tax credit for 310 4th Street. Actually, I guess for tax credits, there's two of them. Is there any question for either one of those?
This is Miss McSaney. I move we approve both tax credit requests.
Okay. I have a second.
Mr. Schweitzer, second.
Okay, Brooke. Motion to approve from Ms. McSaney and a second from Mr. Schweitzer. Please.
Ms. McSaney,
Yes.
Mr. Schweitzer,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Absolutely.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. The next agenda item is the staff approvals. Any comments, question? I think we've all seen these and probably addressed any questions we may have had, but I'll just ask one more time if there's any comments.
Well, I do have a comment and a concern here, and that regards to 419 Prince George Street. I'm a little puzzled on why we're doing a staff approval on somebody who did work without approval. And it seems to me that when someone has actually done unauthorized work, that at the very least, we should make those applicants come to a meeting for the to the commission. I this applicant, because it's next door to me, I could see that they had done several types of, I mean, as you know, Brooke, this has been an issue, but I was concerned to see it as a staff approval after they had done unauthorized work.
Ms. Lubinecki, while it might have been unauthorized, they did come in and get the application. If it's an in-kind, then we're going to naturally go through the staff approval process. So that's why it's not brought before the commission in this case.
Right, but then you're assuming that it's an in-kind, that takes out the discussion for us, for an applicant who's not following the rules. So you're giving them basically a pass on doing unauthorized work. And well, yes.
Ms. Lubinecki, when those are the cases, when we go out there, then a case gets started. And if they continue, they don't come in and apply, then they go through the process of if there needs to be a stop work order, if there needs to be a violation and fines. And then when they come in and apply, then we hold off on the violation depending on what the application is. And if it's something in kind, we're going to still go through the staff approval process, but it's something different, then we will bring before the commission.
So,
I'm sorry, Patrick, I can't understand you.
Speak up, Patrick.
So, Mr. Love, so if it's in kind, that means that it doesn't necessarily have to go through the overall process in terms of coming in front of the commission?
No, if it's in kind, they still, no matter what work, if it can be seized from the right of way, but if it's in kind, they still have to apply for the HDC, and that can be staff approved. But if it's something that is differing from what they have currently, then it comes before the commission.
So with this applicant, it being in kind, then they're liable to go for the staff approval, right?
Well, yeah, by doing it in kind, we were able to staff approve, but we still had to go out and investigate. Like I said, if they hadn't come in with any sort of application and completed that, then we would have continued enforcement action. I'm sorry, Mr. Davis, I can't really hear you, sir.
Can't hear you. Patrick, we can't hear you properly. I think this is partially the Zoom problem because we've had a lot of audio problems.
Oh, my phone is also different. So,
okay.
We can back to Ms. My question was, if it's in kind, then it's pretty much a staff approval process. That's what I was asking.
Yes, correct. If it isn't, yes, that's correct.
Okay, that was my question. Hopefully you guys can hear me on that. That was it.
This is Ms. Cassini. I guess I would like to add to Ms. Lubinecki's concern that this applicant seems to be kind of an habitual ask for forgiveness. Go ahead and do the work and ask for forgiveness instead of asking for permission.
So I don't know if you want to address this, Rob.
Even if they're doing that, each case is on its own merit at that point when they're coming in, and that's what the city attorney would tell us, though.
Right, but when are there consequences? I mean, if somebody does this time and time again, when are there some consequences? And part of the consequences, you don't get the staff approval. You got to come before the commission to get your approval. Would be a logical way to address that. I mean, because what you've basically done is made it very easy for them to do the ask permission after the fact.
Well, they would still go through the enforcement process, and if they do come in with the application, like I said, we halt that. I guess my question would be, if someone is doing something in kind, I don't know why they would come before the commission. Would you reject what they already have there? I don't think that really makes any sense. So,
well, the issue
I mean,
is,
we're not here to sit here and try to punish people like that. If they're coming in, they may have done it before, but they go through the enforcement process, and if they don't get their applications in, even if it's in kind, they don't get it. we continue with that. It could lead to fines. We just had that for another person on this call for when they did something, they were fined and they paid their fine. So there are situations where that is the case, but we still don't see a reason to, if it is an in kind, to bring before the commission. I don't know what purpose that would serve in the end.
Well, particularly if it's a habitual person, it shows them that that these are people who clearly know that there's an HDC and that they're supposed to get permission ahead of time, and they've chosen not to follow the regulations. And it wouldn't be difficult to say you get it a pass one time by not becoming before the commission to get what would be a very routine approval. The consequence is that after you have been alerted that you are in the HDC, your right to get that staff approval, which has not always been an automatic thing for the HDC, is you lose some of that privilege. Staff approvals are a privilege. It's not a right. A staff approval is a privilege, not a right.
Karen, let me just, this is Mike Les. I think the point was made that each issue stands on its own merits. And in fact, the consequence to somebody, if they get a stop work order, especially if they've got a contractor on the job, they're bearing the additional cost that contractor may charge them because he had to stop work. He was mobilized, he's doing the work, and now he's stopped. I don't disagree with you, but again, Rob also made the point, and it's been made to me several times by various people. We're not in the business of punishing people. What we want them to do is we want them to adhere to the rules. If they're doing in kind, if it's in kind, it's in kind. If they get a stop work order and we find out that it wasn't in kind, then they've got to come to the HDC. But that's just my perspective.
And yet there's still no consequences for them because
I think if they get a stop work order and they've got a contractor doing the work, he's going to be real unhappy with them. I'll just say that.
Well, but the whole point is if an applicant, as opposed to an application, is a multiple time, they have been warned, they know that there's an HDC. So what's the problem? I don't understand. I mean, it's the right versus privilege issue. And I think we have a serious disagreement here on,
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just giving you my perspective because in fact, what happens is if they get a stop work order, but it's in kind, it's a reset back to the process that would have taken place, which is staff doing the approval because it's in kind. That's the way I look at it. But again, you may have a difference of opinion. And again, maybe the rules have got to be changed to be more specific. I don't know.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
It's Greg.
Mr. Chairman, Rob.
Rob, I'm sorry. As a member of the church and someone knows a little bit about that house, I was told it was repair work, not so much new work. Having said that, I know there's a plan to put a shed in the backyard of the house.
Right.
Does that require a permit?
Yes.
Okay.
That requires a permit if it can be seen from the right of way. It has to go before the.
Okay, I will make sure that. Have they applied for that shed permit yet, or do you know?
I have not seen that yet. No.
Okay, I will make sure that's done, and they get the permit, and we'll go through the process. I just wanted to make sure or find out if that putting up a shed is part of the deal. Okay, I'll make sure that's done.
Mr. Schweitzer, Greg,
yes.
Unfortunately, they also put the pad down without permission.
I understand. Okay.
So I'm reasonably familiar with what's going on there.
Okay, you're going on and off mute, Karen.
I say I live next door, so I'm particularly aware of what's going on there.
I know, but I'll make sure that they apply for the permit for the shed too.
Yeah.
And retroactively for the pad that we put down. Okay. Thank you.
And I think this seems to be an ongoing problem, not just with this property, but with other properties in the Historic Commission. So for one tool, and I think that this is the way the city wants us to respond, is if we see somebody doing work or we see something happening in the historic district, go to the My Laurel app. And, you know, it's got a lot of drop down boxes to where it will highlight what is happening, and you can place that. The city will get it immediately, and they'll respond accordingly, you know, depending on what the issue is. I think that's the way that they would prefer us to deal with people that are not following the rules. So, you know, I think that gives them a record of, you know, when the issue was found out, and then they can act accordingly and go after, you know, whoever's not following the rules or regulations in the city. It's citywide, isn't it, Rob?
That's correct, Mr. Chair. That is exactly what we want to do. It keeps an ongoing record of everything. There can be conversations between, even if the person's anonymous, back and forth regarding where the case is going. There's notes put, you know, there's various things, but this is exactly how we want it, because it then sends it to enforcement, it sends it to us, and we're able to track everything. So please use that app anytime you're seeing anything like that.
So this is Miss Nixini. Recently, I used the app to report tree removal. And 4 or 5 hours later, I got a response from the city asking for more detail. Well, you know, it takes half an hour to take down a tree. So 2 trees were gone, I found out the next day. I mean, one was dead and had been for a very long time. But, you know, that situation did not instill any confidence in me in the use of the app.
Well,
Ms. McSee, this is Mike Les. Let me just mention they've hired another inspector. And I think they're interviewing for 2 more inspectors next week. Is that correct, Rob?
I know there's at least another inspector coming on. I know
the difficulty that they're facing right now is they're down to 1 inspector essentially. Okay, and through no fault of their own. Somebody went to the fire department and somebody's left. So again, I think the difficulty right now in getting somebody to react quickly is that the inspectors, they're down to 1 inspector. I mean, I've had that discussion with Steve Allen. That falls in Steve Allen's shop. And I did see the day where they've actually offered a position to somebody. And so they should be on board soon. And they're going to interview for 2 more. Hopefully when they get up to having 4 inspectors, they'll have enough coverage so they can react more timely than 5 hours. I appreciate that. And just so you understand, it's unfortunate. And we had that discussion with the chief of police over lunch last week. The police officers are not always available to go stop something that's going on. They're not inspectors. They're looking for people that are truly breaking the law. Okay. I know we've had the police officers go up to some places in the 700 Montgomery Street, but there's nothing they can do because it's a code enforcement issue. Okay, but again, I'm not making excuses, but I am saying that they hired another inspector and they're going to hire 2 more. And again, then they've got to be trained. But again, for whatever it's worth, because I've had the same discussion with Steve Allen, and Steve's about ready to tear his hair out.
Well, Mr. Les, I think that's very useful
Mr. Chairman, this is
information.
Commissioner Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh. Patrick, we can't hear you.
You guys hear me now? I apologize again. I'm on my cell phone. You hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Just briefly, just to kind of piggyback on council members, the chairman and Rob. So first of all, Ms. Lubinecki, I understand. I think my thoughts associated with the habitual breaking the rules associated with the individual neighbor, in whichever it may be. We have to understand that we're relying on the residents to report any unforeseen bills, etc. Or if we, luckily enough, commissioners can walk around and see what those issues are and be able to report it back to the city of Laurel, Rob's department. So where in that time we can actually execute the appropriate, stop work orders or fines, etc. It's a lot to actually take into account. And so, yes, they may have done it 5 or 6 times, but it's on us to pretty much hold them accountable. It's 100%, I believe, it's on accountability. Secondly, the city of Laurel, from our last census, I'm going to say I believe it was 28,000 residents. I could be wrong, but I think that's the last time I checked when the last census was completed. And that's, compared to a lot of these larger towns and municipalities, that's pretty small. But you know what? With the city of Laurel and the municipal center and all the staff that they have, that's a lot for them to deal with. And the handful of folks, and it really takes a lot of time and effort to keep balance of. So again, when it comes back to, it's an habitual nature, yes, but no one reported it. No one reported it. No one held them accountable. No one brought it to the city's attention for the city and Rob's department to take, the appropriate action. So I certainly understand what you're saying in terms of the particular habit, but it's a limited amount of resources to really follow up on those concerned issues, violations, so to speak, especially if the city is not being notified of what's going on, as opposed to us, the commissioners, walking in neighborhoods, which we cannot technically do. That's so much time. We don't have that much time. And their neighbors, 9 times out of 10, are not going to always report the issues. So, we're given a certain amount of responsibility to a certain amount of individuals in our lovely city. And it's only when it's brought to our attention, then we can only address it. So just my personal comment on that, Mr. Wolecki.
Oh, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick, for your comment. So I with dealing with the historic district and trying to keep the property standards up, I think it's a constant battle. There's an influx of people moving in and out. There's people wanting to do things. And, in one of the applicants tonight, they needed to repair their stairs, but they weren't sure of the process. So they went ahead and did it. Apologized several times for doing that. I think we want to promote, people keeping up on their properties. Yes, maybe this applicant has broken the rules several times and maybe we need to send them a letter or something. But I think it's a process. We have to continue the process. Sometimes it's a frustrating process, but overall, I think we have a good historic district. We have a great government that provides a lot of services that a lot of districts or cities don't provide, that this city does provide them. And it's a struggle. If you look around, everybody's got to help when it signs out. And I'm sure the city is no different than every other business in America out here right now. So, I guess we should have a little patience, but also keep our eyes open, report things when we see them. And, if my Laurel app is one way to do it, and if that is not satisfying, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, but you can pick up the phone and call the city as well, right?
You can do the same, yes. We prefer the My Laurel app for contact, but yeah, if you're not getting the satisfaction, go ahead, you can call the city. That's absolutely.
Well, I believe that's all I have to say on the subject. And
Rob, this is Mike Les, if you'd indulge me for a couple of minutes.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I was at a 100th anniversary dinner at Plotty this past week. They recognized the Laurel Historic District for working with them on the building that will soon break ground. The building is being staged right now, and they were truly appreciative of the input that they had from the members of the Historic District Commission. The other thing was there was a prominent real estate person there, and we had some conversation about the checking the box on contracts. This house is in a historic district. He said buyers and sellers don't pay attention to that. They check it if it is, but nobody pays attention. Nobody asks, well, what do I have to do? And we tried to get them to, Bill Goddard, I think, was the one that actually called the Real Estate Commission to ask if we could get that changed. And the answer was no, N-O. Okay. Last thing is, this is my last meeting on the Historic District Commission. I want to thank all of the commissioners that have provided some good discussion about what's good for Laurel and the Historic District, and wish you all well. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Councilman Liz, and thank you for your service for the city all these years. Your comments and your insight with the Historic District will definitely be missed on this commission. And we're sorry to see you go, but moving on to your next phase, we appreciate that.
On that sad note, this is Ms. McStaney. I move we adjourn.
Motion accepted.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mike.
Mike.
Hey, good night.